Yo, what's the crap, boys? I want to go over mainly five of the best teams with the best future. You know, these teams will be competing for the championship most likely by the end of the decade. Got some honorable mentions about teams that, you know, got a good future that, you know, right now in the next 2-3 years. But obviously, you know, it's just more dependent on, you know, young talent, cap space, etc. In no particular order, by the way. Number one, I'm just going to go with the Houston Rockets. Last season, Harden got traded. They were in a rough spot. And they had that wow factor of Oladipo, John Wall, and Christian Wood. They've came a long way since then. Absolutely hitting in some drafts. Also, they've hired Ime Udoka, arguably one of the best young coaches in the league. Definitely one of the better defensive coaches. Creating a new culture in Houston, which they desperately needed, especially last season. You know, John Wall coming out saying, you know, Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. are not getting away with shit that they do here. So Ime Udoka coming in, creating a new culture. Obviously, you've got all the great young players. More importantly, they have cap space. And they are looking, you know, this just came out today that they're looking to give Fred VanVleet a 2-year, $80 million contract. I mean, like, okay, like, do what you want, but that's crazy. Also, they've got such great young talent. Jalen Green, 21. Obviously, you've just got Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson. They're both, Thompson 20, Cam Whitmore's 19. You know, you went from Cam, possibly drafting him at number 4, to getting him at 20. They ultimately won the draft there. Obviously, you've got Sengun, Kevin Porter Jr. And also, you've got Jabari Smith Jr., who probably, until an hour before the draft, he was going number 1. And you've got him as well. Rockets arguably have the best future of this team, on this list. You know, I'll let you decide that. I think they're definitely up there. Also going to make more moves, going to make huge trades. You know, where they want to trade those Brooklyn picks they got, or they just sign another free agent later on. I don't think they should sign Harden, but Houston Rockets have something big building up. I believe this team, this core kept together, obviously the new CBA, we'll see. This team can easily eclipse that 2018 Rockets team, / that Harden team. Now with the number 2 team, like I said, no order, the Spurs. Let's be honest here, they got Wemby. Popovich is still going to be there. They got that huge, good culture, good role models. Obviously, Tim Duncan and Dave Robson, all them met Wembanyama. Whatever player joins this team, they're in good company. Also, they got the young talent as well. They also have a lot of cap space. And, you know, they should build through the draft continuously like another team that's on here. I'll say already, the Pistons and then the Rockets have done. They'll continue to build through the draft, possibly make some free agency signings, even some trades. Got players like Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, Charles Bassey. You know, he was on the Sixers. He was a solid player. You got Branham. I probably butchered that name. Absolute steal at the 20th pick last season. Great scorer. He's going to be such a huge part to this rotation / he'll probably be starting, you know, for their future dynasty, that, you know, their plans. Absolutely steal at 20. Spurs got a great future. They're obviously experienced in recent times. You know, last time Spurs won a championship was 2014. You know, a lot of these teams on this list haven't won in a while / have never won. So Spurs know how to build, you know, a team from the ground up, all that stuff. Probably, you know, you got the best prospect. Health's going to be the only concern for Wembanyama. I think the weight problem, I don't think that will be a huge thing. Obviously, we've seen Chet Holmgren, that, you know, that kind of was an issue. But if Wembanyama's healthy, even if he's out for a season, you get a good draft pick. So many good prospects coming up in the NBA, so they'll be fine. Yeah, this might be the team which has the best future, the OKC Thunder. Before I even say anything, bro, all those picks to trade for a superstar if they become available. Especially, you know, Bradley Beal went for nothing. Obviously, Chris Paul is not nothing. But, you know, if it wasn't trade to the Suns, it would be a bigger deal. Let's be real. Or if there's no trade clause. So you got all those picks to trade for anyone. Shea, who's arguably a top 10 player, definitely one of the best guards in the league, made it NBA first team. You got Chet Holmgren, who's going to be in his rookie season, arguably could be the number 1 pick. Probably was the number 1 pick for most of the year, you know, coming up to the draft. And then you got players like Josh Giddey, who's going to be a vital playmaker for them. His jump shot should be developing. Obviously, he's got a good game. Probably will average a triple-double one day. Vital part to them. You got the Jalen Williams brothers. I'm pretty sure the brothers, correct me if I'm wrong. Cason Wallace, they just got from the draft. I can't believe he got to the Thunder. He's going to be staying there. He's going to be so solid. Then you got Poku Lou Dort, who's arguably one of the best two-way players in the league. Not the most efficient, but when he's having his day, honestly, such a vital part to the future championship team. Trey Mann, and you got Isaiah Joe, who's probably going to turn out to be one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. We'll see what time has to say about that. Also, like I said, they got the flexibility cap. You know, they still got some young players on contract. And let's say a superstar wants out, just a big name player who can vitally help. Let's say Embiid wants to get traded. Obviously, you probably have to give up, like, I mean, if I, as a Sixers fan, I'm wanting one of your good young players. Josh Giddey or Chet. Or you could just throw as many picks as you want at us and somehow make the trade work. You know what I mean? Something like that. They just have huge flexibility with all their picks to even trade for role players. Obviously, Shea's your main guy. You should be trying to keep Shea for as long as you can. Obviously, Chet probably is going to become a very good number 2. Who knows with what the Clipper picks are going to turn into. Maybe they even get better and better. So you might not even need to trade for a superstar. You might draft them and then have to trade for the role players. That's why, championship-wise, this OKC team, you know, the first 3 teams I've named are all in the West. Western Conference playoffs, mid-20s decade is going to be crazy. Obviously, out of all these 3 teams, I would say the Thunder probably the most likely to win a championship first. We'll have to see. Then we got Detroit. Somewhat good cap space. Got Monty Williams, who's arguably a great coach, especially if they keep him for a while. Obviously, this whole thing of firing coaches. To me, the fact that the Suns fired Monty Williams before trading DeAndre Ayton was a huge mistake. Obviously, now the Suns are fucked. I don't care if they're making to the conference finals. It's championship or bust for them. You kind of fucked your franchise for a decade, near a decade. Not really a decade, but you know what I mean. But they've got a great coach in Monty Williams. Cade, obviously your cornerstone, arguably going to be an MVP talent one day. Jalen Duren, going to be one of the best centers in the league. He's so physical, great rebounder. His offensive game will develop, and until the rookies came in, the youngest player in the NBA. So he's got a lot of room to grow. And obviously, the shooting guard, you got Sir Thompson and Jaden Ivey. You know, Jaden Ivey's going to be getting buckets, completely, you know, scoring machine. Has got the playmaking in there as well. Sir Thompson's going to be a two-way, machine. Hopefully, that jump shot does develop. He's going to be their quarterback almost. Obviously, Amen is going to be a phenomenal quarterback for the Rockets. But obviously, the Pistons do have some young, bad players. James Wiseman can definitely, he's shown improvement since going to Detroit, which everyone expected. Marvin Bagley, I'd say you keep on to him. It's a high reward, low risk, because, you've already got so many great young players. And then you got Isaiah Stewart, who's absolutely physical. Isaiah Stewart, no matter what team he's on, will contribute to a championship team with his physicality, the dog in him. Also, you saw what he tried to do to LeBron, run at him. You need that on your team. Pistons, I expect this team to be very well in the East. Obviously, you'll have teams like the Cavs, the Celtics come in. I expect their window to be in the next 2-3 years where they're really fighting for contention. Already now, the team that I think will have the slowest rebuild to contention, probably the Rockets or Spurs. I'd probably say the Spurs just because they have less good players than the Rockets, but that's just my opinion. Detroit, though, looking at. And the final team who arguably could be up next, the Orlando Magic. Paolo Banchero, until he had that little rookie slump, which all rookies have, looking like the best rookie ever. Better than LeBron, built like LeBron. Offensive game is insane. Like we all saw what happened last season. That was in his rookie season. He's going to develop, possibly turn to the best player in the NBA. If I had to bet next best player in the NBA, I'm saying Paolo Banchero, easily. Obviously, you got Franz Wagner. That's going to be such a dynamic duo. Both forwards. You could play Franz as a shooting guard. You got Markelle, who is 25. I'm not going up on Markelle. I think he's going to win most improved player next season. Jalen Suggs has had a bit of a rough career so far, but it's still early. You can't count someone out until about year 5 or 6. Depending on it. Obviously, you got a guy like Fultz who's been injured. You need to let him play. Obviously, it's a different story if they've played almost all their career and they're bad. But Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, who's just a bucket. Probably someone who's not going to be on the team long term. Obviously, he is a great player. Offensively wise, he is good. Just defensively, he does try hard. And then you've got players like Bol and Wendell Carter Jr., Wendell Carter Jr. is solid for your center spot. That front court of Wendell Carter, Paolo, and Franz Wagner is elite. Jalen Suggs turned into the player who we thought he was going to be. Championship, easily. That's a great core. Like I said, the new CBA is kind of annoying because it feels like one of them is going to be gone just due to it, but Orlando's in a great spot. Phenomenal. For my honorable mentions, I'm going to go with Charlotte, LaMelo, and Brandon Miller. Michael Jordan did leave the team, so no one's there going to be, fucking up the decisions. There's actually going to be, they're going to make smart moves for once. So that's already there. The Washington Wizards, argument from the worst future to not the best. Jordan Poole's nice. Corey Kisper's nice. Koulibaly's very good. You're going to keep building for the draft. I don't think they own their pick next year, if I could be wrong. You got a good future start from there. Obviously, Jordan Poole, I expect him to average 25. He's just that nice offensively. Great spot for him. And they're going to build for the draft, mix of free agency signings, we'll see, but that's my sort of take of it on it. Two more teams, the Cavs and the Celtics. Cleveland. Cleveland are open to trade for Darius Garland. In my opinion, I think he's a future MVP. I don't know why you trade him. That's stupid. That is really stupid. You got Donovan Mitchell, who could, I do see Donovan Mitchell playing for the Knicks. Maybe he retires in Cleveland, but for them, until now, you've got a good, good backcourt there. Playoffs wise, defensively, that's going to be kind of bad. Isaac Okoro, solid. Evan Mobley's going to turn out to be a great player in the NBA, and then Jarrett Allen, who openly admitted the lights were too bright in the playoffs. L, bro, you're an L. That's fucked up. Evan Mobley obviously played terrible in the playoffs, but first playoffs as that unit together, I think they'll be great. And then the Celtics, when you have arguably the best duo is Jokic and Murray. But for the whole regular season, it was like, okay, it was consensus that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were the best duo in the NBA. Obviously, that $600 million plus Porzingis is kind of tough. So maybe the role players might be hurting a little, to build a proper championship contender. But as long as you got those two players on your team, I think you're fine. But those are my best futures of the team. Out of all these teams, if I was choosing to be an NBA fan, I would just choose the Spurs.